Want a simple way to track your spending in Excel and see instantly if you're over budget? In this video, I'll show you how to build this monthly budget tracker from scratch, including automatic totals, category tracking, and visual dashboard. And you can build this yourself even if you're a beginner in Excel. In this tutorial, we'll build three main parts: a monthly budget table, an expense tracker, and a dashboard that updates automatically. So whenever you enter a new expense, everything updates instantly. And now let's start. I normally do my templates in this green color scheme and in Tahoma font. However, you can pick any font or color you want. I also make the row height 15, but you can make it greater or smaller. It depends on your site and preference. And I also leave the first column as kind of a puffer. So now let's build our monthly budget table. For that, I will make the row height of the row to 30 because this is our header, and I need 4 columns for that. So I will just color it green and type in the category, monthly budget, spent, and remaining, and then center everything, bold, and pick a white color. So now I select the amount of rows I need for my categories. I'll pick 10. You can make it less or more than that. And then I select the whole table to just add some borders. Again, you can pick any color you want. You can pick any size you want. It's just something that I always do. And here we'll add another outline border just to kind of separate between the values I will enter and the values that will be calculated. And after that, I just copy pasted my categories. You can use your own categories. You can use more than that, less than that. It's just you will need to update the size of the table accordingly. Now I will just resize 6 columns to have column width 20. But my last column will be notes, so you can make it a bit bigger, maybe a size 30. Now we can format all 3 columns as like dollar signs, and I also format the last row outside of the table. Now we can enter our first formula, which is the sum of our monthly budget. And we can extend the formula. I extend it without formatting, and this will be the sum of our spend and the sum of our remaining. Now we can continue with the header of our expenses table. Same green coloring, the row height 30, and again, I'll just copy paste the column headers. Then just center everything white and bold. So now we need to highlight the amount of rows you think you will need for your expenses. I always just do it for 1000 rows. However, you can make it for 100. I make the background color white and add some borders as always. So now I will just add some sample values so that we can see how everything updates, and also change the formatting of the amount to USD. I make the column H kind of a puffer again, and we'll make a new table for our payment method. So I normally have white background for the cells where I can enter the values freely, and the green background where my formulas are. This is kind of helpful for me to not delete the formulas later. You can obviously always protect them, but this is the beginner level template, so we're not doing this here. So this way, the first column will be white because we'll be entering our payment method there, and the second column will be our calculated formulas for that payment method. And then again, some borders. And then again, I'm just copy pasting some values from my template and changing the second column to dollar formatting, and then do not forget to change the date column to short date formatting. And now let's calculate the amount spent for each category. For that, we will pick the sum if formula. And at the first is a range that contains all of the categories. You can either highlight the whole column of your category, or I just know that it is 1000 rows, so I can just type in D16 to D1015. Then I pick the cell of the category I want to calculate the spent amount for, and then the same range, so from 16th to 2015th row, but in a column amount. I also press F4 to kind of add the dollar signs in between everything. You can just manually add them, and this fixes the formula. So I can extend it to every single row, and it's just updates. So now for the remaining, it's just monthly budget cell minus the spend cell, and that's it. You can just extend it for the whole table. And if you do not want to ruin your formatting, just pick the extend without the formatting. And this is it for our monthly budget table. So now we can just reuse our spend formula and copy paste it into our payment method table. So the difference here is that we will need to check every spend method, right? So we will use not the column D, but the column E, and obviously the value should come from I16, or I can just basically pick it from the table like this. And this is it. Then I can just extend the formula as I did before, again without the formatting. You can maybe just do the formatting afterwards if you do not want to keep this all in mind. After this, in my case, I just wanted to add a header for today. For that, I'm merging and centering and adding the green background color, white font color, and I will be just adding a word today in a bigger font. And then I again merge cells and type in equals today with brackets. So this is a formula that automatically updates. Again, center everything, bold, and I will leave it with a black color. So now what we need is some drop downs. So for that, you're gonna highlight the whole column where you want your drop downs to be. You can also use Shift and Control and arrow up to highlight the whole column. And then just go to Data, Data Validation, again, Data Validation, and then here allow List, and then just press this arrow and you will be able to pick all the categories from the table. Press OK. And again, we do the same thing for our payment method. So Shift, Control, arrow up, and then data validation, list, and then just pick the values from the table. So now if you were to enter a new payment method, like for example PayPal, you can just enter it at the table, and then you can see that it immediately becomes available to you at the drop down. So if I were to change to PayPal, everything updates automatically. So now let's make our donut chart. So for that, I just highlight my categories and my monthly budget, and then insert, charts, and then I just go to all charts, pie, and then the last one, and just pick this second one. So now all of the formatting is just something that I like to do. You can keep it as it is. You can again change the colors. So what I like to do is just make the legend on the left. I feel like it goes with the flow a little bit better. Then maybe make the font a bit darker so that's easier to read. So then I just resize it a little bit. So I also delete the shape outline for the donuts. I do not like those white borders. And I also changed the shape fill for the whole chart, so no shape fill at all. And this is it for the donut chart. So now we need to add the stacked bar chart with our spent and remaining values. So we do the same, we insert a chart. All charts, bar, and then the second one, and again the second one, and then again my preferred formatting. So I delete the chart title. Resize it a little bit. And then again, no shape outline, no shape fill. I also delete this one because we only have one bar chart. So then you can either delete those lines or make them a bit deeper green colors if you want to see them. We can also kind of extend the size of the graph itself a little bit. So now let's change the axis formatting. We do not need the sans inside this graph, so just format the axis, and then here under number, just press 0 as the decimal place. So we can also make the font dark again, and then we can add some data labels. Obviously we have them on the left, and we can format the data labels too, so we can also make the font darker, and for the other one maybe make it white. And we can also go to number and just change the decimal place to 0 again. So now we need to add the series name. So for that, right mouse click and then select data, pick series 1, and then here you can just select the spent cell and then do the same for series 2 and select the remaining cell. Okay. And now we only need to do the conditional formatting. So we highlight the remaining column and pick new row. Then here we pick 3 color scales, and then you can pick your own colors. I just already have this red, yellow, and green. So we pick number, and for medium we pick 0, for minimum we pick -1, and for maximum we just pick 1. We can also select the row 16 and then go to view and press this freeze pane. So this is then easier for us to work with when we obviously have more than 20 rows of expenses in a year, so that the headers stay intact. And this is it. Now whenever you enter a new expense, the entire dashboard updates automatically. If you'd like the finished version of this spreadsheet, you can download it using the link below. And if you want to learn more practical Excel skills like this, just press the subscribe button. And you can always leave a new template idea down below in the comments. Have a great week. Goodbye.